Astro's AI has jumped the start, and now the good camera angle is gone. And we go green in Singapore for hopefully a good race. It looks like Price Evolution got a good start off the line.
Oh no,
Wow.
It's the Astro Boys start again from Mexico. Wow, goes that round the outside of Bryce, turn 2. Oh, there's a bit of contact there. Bryce trying to fight the position back. Julian very, very close behind. Let's see what Garriott can do into the Raffles Boulevard. Wow has got past Bryce cleanly, but Bryce comes back. So Bryce is fighting this, and Wow looking to get into P2. Hugo's
Julian. Can Julian slip through? He can! Wow. Julian with a master move into P2, but now he goes wide. Price Evolution is wiggling. He holds off Wow, and now Gary Sticks is now down the inside.
Danny around the outside of Pretorius. Danny trying to go around the outside, not going to make that work. Wow, up the inside of Gary, keeps that P4, but Julian with a massive dive bomb.
An amazing maneuver from him. I thought he had lost out there. Gary goes wide.
Gary and Wow.
And now Wow maybe getting through for a move. Anderson Bridge, and it's Wow back up into P4. But Price Evolution is between Julian and Wow really needs to get past Price soon if he wants to hunt for Julian.
Popo's going to get the better exit. Can he make a dive like Julian did? Follow suit with his teammate as he goes. Tries to go down the inside, but Astro blocks that off. He's still going to make it though. And Astro is having to give up the position. He goes down the outside. Off track, and then the McLaren of Light Cruiser gets round past Popo, and that
NJJ and Basket
wasn't very good for Popo.
Oh god, so much going on right now. And we've got yellows. Julian has spun. Julian has spinned it out of P2. He's down to P3, and now Price Evolution has his eyes set on him. And
yes, now Bryce going round the outside. Pretorius getting involved as well. He's going to go down the inside here. He's challenging the top so much, and that's overspeed. He's got off as well.
He's got it. Price Evolution up into P3. Amazing maneuver. And Pretorius is the next who's knocking on the door of Julian. So Julian goes for
so he's making the move.
Very wide gap there on the outside. Maybe Pretorius can even slip through. Oh, they make contact. And now can Pretorius follow through? Maybe Bryce breaks very late. It sends him deep into the corner. George Russell knows what's gonna happen here. He actually doesn't, because it doesn't happen. Oh, Danny Coe! Danny Coe is alongside.
Oh no, we're gonna go 3 wide into here. This is not Pretorius. Pretorius has gone past all of them. Danny on the inside trying to get past Bryce now. Pretorius got through. Pretorius up into P3. Can he make amends?
Oh no, he tags Bryce! He tags Bryce! No. He tags him again!
Julian is going to have a go at Bryce here, down into turn 1 to take back P4, which he does. He goes very wide, and then Bryce
switch back.
Still fighting it. Wonderful racing between all these drivers. He's really showing them what he's made of. And he's going to try and get the switch back here at turn 4. No, he's not. He's going to outbrake him.
He's going so deep into that, and it works out perfectly. And Julian has to give him the room. And now Julian is still sitting duck without the DRS. Danny Coe's lurking, and he maybe wants to get 2 into the corner, just like Julian did on lap 1. He's on the inside of Bryce.
Danny!
Oh, that's a massive cut.
He down the inside.
Oh, but Julian goes off track. So does Gary, and now they are still side by side. The Ferrari at the Haas, and there's almost contact. And Danny on the inside, P3 for him, P4 actually.
Bryce gets squeezed out on the exit.
Finally, Julian wants to go there. Oh no, Danny Coe!
Danny, no!
And that's both of them
retired, but that's a separate incident. But
Bryce, I did really jinx it. Bryce,
he was at P3, P4, and he's thrown that away with a collision with Danny. I think that was Danny's fault, really. He broke really late into that corner.
AJ is past Tipsy, who has pitted himself. Wait, no. Oh, MJJ! Oh, MJJ! What are you doing? Oh no, and he goes into Tipsy, but he was completely out of control there. Oh, that's gonna be a juicy Mercedes sandwich, but maybe not for long. Julian, very brave on the brakes, and that's a move done. And now Jensen goes on Gary. Is he gonna make it stick? Yes, he is. Very bold move and very decisive, and it just
like
works.
A carbon copy of Tipsy did on Bryce. Light Cruiser's going to cover the inside. He's going to fake to the outside, and then he's going to dive into turn 1, make that move quite easily. Actually, I don't think Light Cruiser's going to put up a fight because he's on those mediums.
Gary is super close to Light Cruiser. Something is building up there, and Jensen already in the DRS window of both Astro and Pretorius. Now Astro is of course going to use his teammate as a little bit of a shield, which he has. I mean, Pretorius has got Astro's back, but from the front. as Jensen gets a really good run, and maybe that's already the first position for him. He's gonna look around the outside. Untypical overtaking spot, gonna be squeezed off. Bit of contact, that looked dicey, and now Astro almost off the back of Pretorius. Brilliant run for Jensen. Maybe he can do something into that turn 4. That's not what I meant. I thought he was gonna get a good run. Oh boy! Astro super sideways, and Jensen has already split the two Mercedes. And now Pretorius is gonna be next, and surely he's gonna falter before the end of the race. I think Julian is too far, but Jensen's on a charge.
Get onto the back of Julian.
Gary on Light Cruiser. It's been brewing for some laps, and now there's actually something happening between them! Oh no! And Copy gets 1, and Copy will probably get 2, because Light Cruiser's gonna be compromised after that. Well, won't matter, because this guy here has driven a brilliant race. He got himself ahead in the VSC, but with a 10-second gap he has made, I have no doubt in my mind he would have been able to catch up to you guys anyway. And now he comes across the line to claim a very deserved victory after a terrible race in Italy. And
yeah, the race really come down now, isn't it?
It is the win for WoW. You guys, great race. Hello ladies and gentlemen, good evening everyone. We are back live with SLR Tier 1, and it is round 16 of the 4th season. The championship is gonna come to a close fairly soon. There's 5 races to go, or after this one I think there's 6 races to go. And for this one we are in Russia, and alongside me as Julian tags the wall. Alongside me is once again Joel, as he's been the last weeks, while Tara is still chilling with the crocodiles in the swamps of Florida. Or whatever you do in Florida, I don't know. Copy! Well, on the first run, we're 4 minutes into qualifying, and on the first run, Copy beats Julian, but we saw Julian tag the wall there. And,
31-7 is not the most competitive time, but, I think they're just taking it easy, especially it's very easy to invalidate here, so they probably just want to get a lap in at the beginning.
I found that on Sochi, to be honest, you just have to slowly increase your pace, because if you're gonna do a banker, then you're gonna be super slow, because it means you can't attack track limits at all. Invalidating is super easy here, and so your first banker is almost gonna be worthless if you don't attack track limits at all. So either you just hope that one lap sticks, or you try to get gradually faster and only go all out on the last lap. But for now, the provisional pole is
it's Danny, 31-4.
Yeah, well, he's gotten 2 poles in the last 3 races. He didn't qualify in pole in Singapore, but he qualified in pole in Spa and Monza. So he's of course had a pretty good run on form lately, and this 31-4 is a good first time to start off quali. On Thursday, in the race that Joel and I both drove in Russia Tier 2, the pole time was Neth Luke with a 30.999, which is has nothing to do with the fact that I'm aggressively German. And that was a very good time. I imagine it's going to be beaten today in Tier 1 by some driver, and being only 5/10ths off of that on this track for Danico in the first lap is a valuable achievement, and I think he's going to build from that.
Yeah. One thing that will be interesting in the race is penalties, so that's going to be a massive talking point, and the order will not be the same once they all cross the line at the end of the race. So I know Icewind was quite nervous, particularly earlier, trying his best not to get penalties, but it's very easy to do around here, especially if you're pushing very hard.
Yeah, the drivers come into the pit slowly but surely. This is Max Spilt. Everyone has completed their first run, and you can see on the timetable 19 drivers tonight, and only 12 of them, now 13, have put in a lap. So I assume that 7 of them failed to put in a valid lap. That's pretty much, I mean, that's a lot. It's not as much as I would expect on Russia, but it shows you what kind of track this is. It's a lot of drivers don't like it because well, it's basically 90-degree corners, and it's not a very natural track. I personally don't absolutely hate it, but that's probably just because my drive there or my race there wasn't terrible.
Yeah, I mean, it mostly depends on pace, to be honest, doesn't it?
Yeah.
If you're good around if you're fast around the track, then you tend to enjoy it more.
Yeah, that is very true.
Overspeed, I think, is he on a lap? No, he's invalidated. Ocean Chief invalidated also. I think Popo, yeah, he's still on a lap. So Popo's coming through the middle sector now. He set a purple sector 1. So let's see if he can beat Danny.
Yeah, 31.4 is on the scoreboard for now, but you can see how tight he cuts it, but that's still fine. And he always gets like half his car off the track on the inside, which is basically exactly what you're allowed to. That orange piece of curbing, you can take that, and it basically works as track. To be honest, Russia is one of these tracks where the difference between on-track and off-track is just paint. Even the curbs are so incredibly flat. They can just basically use them as track. Here we spotted the only piece of grass on the entire track. Ooh, yeah, oversteer.
Using the back end there. It's a very tricky traction zone, one of the trickiest on the track there. So
yeah,
coming through the final sector, 2 90-degree corners to the right. And you can floor it across the line. The line comes up very quick. It's right there. And where's Pope going to put it? P5 with a 31.8.
Really good lap. It's only 3/10 off of what Danico said. It is 3/10 ahead of what Julian has said, even though Julian, I'm sure, will be able to improve. But if Julian can get his teammate close to the top, he's going to be happy about that, because of course Popo will be able to maybe help him out a little, maybe get in Copy's way.
Yep.
Something like that. What's the championship situation like right now, by the way?
So I think I think Julian actually is leading
so
by 4 points or something. I'll have a look.
So last round in Singapore, if I remember correctly, Copy didn't have the greatest of races. I think he came from the back.
Yes, so Julian is leading by 9 points.
Okay. Well, Copy will try and take the championship lead back today, of course, but it's gonna be tough. But one thing you can hold to as good is that he tends to be very good in getting no penalty.
Oh, so
usually.
Sorry, but Julian on a lap,
yeah,
up by almost a 10th. Yeah.
And now we head into the final sector, which I personally find absolutely painful with its off-camber corners, and I just feel like I have no traction there. But Julian manages it really well. Penultimate corner, pretty tight and cut. Copy, good lap. 31.4. Julian across the line. Can he take that off? Yes, he can. It is.
Whoa, I was just about to say he didn't look too confident through the corners, but he's proved me wrong there. 31.2. Good, very good time.
Very nicely
So
done.
who else is looking to challenge them? WoW has invalidated. Icewind goes P4.
That's a good lap from Icewind, 31.6, just out of WoW. Who, as you said. Well, you sure he is invalidated?
Well, it's red on the minimap.
Okay, well, yeah, he's not for me, he's still using some DRS, so I didn't know, but okay, that's a bug then. Nice.
So that wall on the outside is very dangerous, especially if you're pushing extremely hard. Then you can get out quite wide there, but you need to be really careful of that wall. Sort of the one danger spots on the track where you can retire your car, really. As I found out on Thursday, on the last lap.
Wait, what? No!
I was pushing to get the gap for 3 seconds to get P10 because the guys ahead had penalties. I didn't have any. I had one warning going on to the last lap. I got 2 warnings and then the penalty on the last lap, and then I binned it in that corner, pushing too hard.
That's like one of my earliest F1 career mode memory, or like on F1 2017 I remember driving the Sauber and it was an absolute dog. And I remember I was gonna get a super good result, and then I just lost the car in there and just lost my tire. So I know very much how it feels, but it's not a league racing environment. So it's something different, but it happens. It's not fun.
No, it's not. Light Cruiser, I was about to say Light Cruiser when I was in a lap, but he had a massive cut through the final sector, so we'll come off into the pits. So the session calming down a bit for now.
So, Hugo's is in P6 right now. I've practiced with him earlier in the week, and like one of his first laps of the week was a 31.1, which of course if he could put it in now, he's gonna get one more run, I think. If he can put that in that run, and it could potentially contest for pole position. But of course he needs to be able to put it together here, and that's gonna be a challenge. For now it's only P6, 31.7. Not a bad lap, but also not what he's gonna hope for.
So Ocean Chief is the only one on a lap at the moment.
He's on the lap with half ERS. I don't know.
Well, he's up by 5/10 in the first. What's that about? No.
Huh?
Right, it didn't even come through a split, and it said 5/10 up. So let's see where he actually is.
Maybe it's his last lap that he said.
Second split, yeah, probably. He's still pushing, unless he's just forgot to turn his ERS down.
Yeah.
Up by 2/10.
Huh?
He's up on his time, well, down on his time by 2/10.
Yeah, down.
Popo's starting a lap. It's difficult to say up when it's plus, but it's actually down. Anyway.
The big old confusion. So Popo looks like a very tidy first sector. And he's in P7, but maybe he can do more. Barely up on his time. Nicely done through that right-hander there. Very close to the wall on the outside. Brakes fairly late for that, and that was almost perfect, at least from what I can judge.
Yeah. It's very
really
good.
Well,
yeah, he's judging the corners really well here about how much he can cut.
Yeah, very nice lines he's going to take him. He's able to widen the corners up as much as possible. Down the main straight in the overtake mode. Sector split 2 is going to come up after that kink on the straight. He's 2/10 up. I would put him in contention.
Purple
for
middle
P4.
sector.
Max Bills retires. Now in sector 3, first Elf Camber corner, and now the second one, slowly to the outside. He went a little deep there, I think, but still good. And as Ocean Chief gets a crew chief. And that might have been
that was an invalidation.
Yes, it is. And that is very unlucky because that was a really good lap until that point.
Who else is Hugo's is about to come across the line, going through the final sector also.
2 corners to go. Apparently he's up 7/10. That would be very good. So Hugo's gonna come across the line, and it's gonna be provisional.
Yes, he is.
And he's 1/1000th of a second slower than Nethluke was yesterday.
31 dead.
Thursday. That is a very, very good time. And
Copy coming through sector 2.
That's gonna be pole. I know one guy who's doing the spreadsheet, the stats sheets, who's gonna have a smile on his face. Astro, very good lap, 31.2. He struggled the last weeks a little bit. Of course, crashing out of Monza, having the bug last week in Singapore, and I think he got penalties. So, I think he got demoted a little bit. So he's gonna look to bounce back. And
Copy is up by 2/10 coming through the hairpin at the end of the back straight. Let's see what he can do going through the final sector now. This left right kind of chicane, want to keep it close to the wall. Early on the power, you can extend there if you need to. Coming through the 2 90-degree right-handers, take as much curb as you can, as Copy does that perfectly there. Coming across the line on the power as early as possible, and he goes P2.
So that's a very good lap, 31.1, but it's not pole for now. It is front row. Julian is going to be the main threat, realistically, the main threat, and he's on his outlap, sector 1, so it's gonna be, or sector 2, so it's gonna be some time until he starts his lap. Let's see who else is on a lap. Danny is not. Icewind is. And he's barely up on his time, but like 300ths of a second.
Yeah. I think that's the Williams of Copy ahead. Is it Copy? Nice overspeed, gets out of the way nicely. Onto the back straight, onto good exit. Opting to go into third there for Ice Cream to get better turn in. He's going to come down. We're going to see what his improvement is. It's nearly 1/10. So if he can keep this together, he can. Well, he needs to gain 4/10 to get up to Astro, but maybe he has something in his pocket in the middle sector. And as he goes wide, he goes deep there, and that's not going to help his time at all. So I doubt he will improve as Popo retires. He's not going to set another lap.
Iceman finished the lap. Last corner comes across, and it is going to be a 1:31.594, just about an improvement that going deep will have been. But I think we should watch Julian, because this is realistically what it's going to come down to. I think there's he has the best shot at a pole out of those who are still running. Maybe Wow. But Julian not as tight as you can be in that right hand, but still...
It says he's invalid.
Huh?
It says he's invalidated for some reason.
Oh!
Track map's gone red. So I don't know where he did that.
Maybe turn 1.
On entry? No, because it went red through the through turn 4.
Huh? You can extend on the outside, but it's a very... Well,
yeah, but I'm saying, did he extend on the entry?
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think maybe that's what he did. Anyway, so, well, with Julian as a pole third out of the way, it's gonna be Wow. He's gonna hunt.
Or Danico, yeah, as well.
It's just about... Yeah, Danico's probably also on the lap.
Yeah, he is.
Those tires are 2 laps old. Well, you can do it in Russia. Tire was not a thing here. It just genuinely isn't. Wow. I've been a little bit up on this first sector. First sector seemed to be very consistent throughout the driver's improvements. And now heading onto the back straight. That looked very tidy. A little bit of steering lock. So on the main straight, getting that power down. Goes up to 330, even quicker. And nice and tidy for that chicane kind of thingy as we head into the last sector. 4 corners to go for Wow. 4 corners that could give him the pole position.
Danny's going to come across the line just before Wow, see what he can do. He was around a 10th down on his time as he came through the middle sector split. He's going to come across the line. What can he do? Puts it P3. And where will Wow be?
Just about improves, and Wow, he also
P6.
improves, but not by enough. So Wow is in P6. Danico jumps
Hugo's on pole.
Yeah, that's Hugo's on pole. Very nice. Is Bryce Evolution actually still driving? Yes, he is. He's gonna come across the line last, and I didn't see where that put him. P11.
Yes.
So strategy-wise, I personally predict that we're gonna see everyone mediums to or softs to mediums, because if there's a safety car, I think from like honestly. Probably as soon as there's a safety car, you can pit under every circumstance. I don't know if it's worth it. In the Tier 2 race, I pitted in lap 5. And I think I had, like, when the others pitted...
Under the VSC?
Yeah, I pitted under the VSC. And when the others... I was the only one to do it for some reason. And when the others pitted, I had, like, 12% tire wear. So I was, like, a little slower towards the end. But I think if there's a full safety car, then it's definitely worth it, because just
you
like
can nearly do the whole race on the medium.
10% of tire wear don't.
It's not going to lose you like
the
10 seconds that you would gain.
Exactly, that's what I mean.
So apparently it's dry for the race. It looks very overcast. So we might have to watch the skies. But it's going to be Hugo's on pole then, with Copy P2. And I think it's Julian. No, it's Danny. It's Danny P3, Julian P4.
Who was on pole last time? Wasn't it also you? No.
No. Wait, yes, I think it was, because he led off the line, didn't he, and got the gap to Julian.
He led in the starting phase of the race. There was this massive start by Julian. So
yeah, because it was the weird qualifying with the rain coming.
Ah, so, right. So it's 2
Bryce was P2. Hugo's P1, I think, yeah.
It's actually Danico and Hugos bringing home back-to-back poles each.
So let's see what the non-top 10 runners have gone in terms of tyre. Overspeed, Max and NJJ are the only ones on medium, so that would be interesting to see how that plays out.
Can I just mention one funny fact? if I'm not miscounting this, I think there's... is there more? No, okay, there's as many drivers with the 2 SRL tag as with the SLR tag. It's 4 each,
Dominance.
I think. A certain dominance. Yeah, it's 4 each. Would have been kind of funny having more 2 SLR tags in an SLR race than SLR tags. So for tires, let me check. Yeah, overspeed, max bolts, and NJJ are only ones. So an early safety car is going to be their downfall, to be honest. I think you can drag the softs for like 13, 14 laps. They can go like half distance.
Yeah. Yeah, but I think it's more efficient to pit earlier than that because
Yes.
if you're going half distance on the softs, you may as well sacrifice that for
yeah, the mediums just genuinely
the fresher
don't
medium
die.
to be faster. Yeah.
It's one of these tracks where you actually have the effect that you get slower towards the end because the fuel consumption just... did I say slower? Faster? Because the fuel consumption actually makes your car lighter, which makes it go quicker than the tire wear. Makes it slower.
I'm just having flashbacks to last season. Astro's in P5 behind another racing point, going through the 3rd sector on the formation lap.
Oh,
Do you remember what happened last season?
Yeah, totally. No.
It went into the back of Bailey on the last lap for the lead. And then took Bailey out, and then Bailey still won on penalties by like 2/10.
I remember that, yeah. Oh. Ah, yes. I have committed the Bailey Thompson. My controller disconnected. Oh, Jesus, please don't make this a regular thing. I pressed some weird button. Anyway, so, in real life, we've seen the phenomenon that P2 is actually kind of the real pole position because there's a very long run to the start line. So maybe Copy can take the lead early on from Yugos. The question is, can the Japanese driver do something about... Oh no, Astro.
Oh no!
Anyway, so we've got 4 lights, 5 lights, and we've got a terrible angle. There we are. And we go green in Russia. And it looks like Yugos got a reasonable launch, but Copy's is also very good. Yugos already closes in. Here that Copy doesn't slip through early enough, but he gets alongside in the Williams. Maybe he can outbrake him. He doesn't even take the slipstream. Behind them, Julian has already put himself into a good position. As Copy goes deep, he makes contact with Yugos, and Julian's going to be able to slip through here, isn't he? The Racing Point challenging Copy. We're going to go into turn 4.
3 wide into turn 4. Wow and Daddy, and they're coming very close to Hugo.
Oh, Julian!
Down the inside.
Julian's pulled a sneaky. He's in the lead. What an incredible start coming from P4 on the grid, and now the Racing Point's in the lead. Yugos has kind of thrown the lead away here. He's in P2. Now Copy wants through because he's been outdone by Julian, and of course Julian is the one he's going to want to beat. Wow, fighting off Danico in the meantime.
Yeah, he wanted to go around the outside there. That's not going to work. And now Icewind right on his tail, looking to make up into the top 5 positions. But Julian, 4 corners, 4 positions. Wonderful racing so far from these top guys, as we would expect. Just further down, Chipsy Bob and Bascadinho are fighting down the main straight. And Pretorius is right on the back of Popo and Light Cruiser, going side by side into this hairpin also. So they all file through nice and clean. Hasn't been any incidents yet, but Pretorius looking to get past Popo as soon as possible. Up ahead, Light Cruiser has got past Popo and is calming down for a bit now, but Julian up into P1.
A really good start from him, but Yugos looks like he's right on his tail, and I think Yugos is really quick on this track. So he's not gonna be done. He's not gonna be done just because he's behind him. Got an interesting bug on the interval. Let's hope that goes away. And let's hope that's not a timing bug. But for now, it looks like Copy might have actually kind of dropped the ball as Danico goes for an attack on Wow. Of course, he wants to get into that leading group because Julian and Yugos are already beginning to make a gap.
Yeah, and Copy's out of DRS already. So when that does enable in the next lap, he's not going to be able to stay with the pack very easily. So Icewind 2 through turn 4, looking on the rear of Danico. Danico on the back of Wow as well. I don't think it's going to be long before Wow gets past Copy as well, because Copy's not looking very comfortable in this early part of the first stint.
Looks like he's in a little bit of trouble potentially. But Danico is also very close to Wow, so and see who gets through there. And
yeah, so they're pulling away. 1.2 seconds already. The gap to WoW. Yes, the top two are really charging away. We've got the constant green flag glitch on my screen.
No, I don't have it.
Good. So that is really annoying.
Can we also appreciate that the rev limiter glitch has it's still there, but it's not as frequent.
So Astro, who disconnected at the start of the session, is down in P19 now. Still hasn't reconnected.
Yeah, I saw him launching the game. So that's that. And Hugas has actually set the fastest lap on lap 2. So he's kind of gained a little bit, which means Julian is not going to be... I mean, this is not going to be a walk in the park.
Wow, wow on copy. Wow, went down the inside of copy. That was inevitable from what we were seeing. Danny now, is he going to pass copy and keep up with his close rival WoW into the podium positions? He's looking, but it's not going to be this time into turn 4. Let's see what he can do. Going through the tunnel, as I like to call it, through the concrete walls, and coming through turn 5 he goes. So yellow flags, and I think that's Max, who's Max has gone off there.
The concrete tunnel because it's like a Formula E track. Well, because I'm gonna see myself out. Anyways, so we've got Yugos is gonna have DRS. Actually, I'm gonna turn on the telemetry. And we've got bug telemetry though. Or Yugos is just very talented and is mashing the brakes while on the straight, Nico Hulkenberg style. Copy is dropping! Copy is dropping like a stone! He's down to P7! I don't know what that was all about. And that's not good.
He's disconnected.
Is he?
Well, it looked like he did.
No, he's not. No, he's there. I don't know what happened. Maybe he got a fat wiggle or something, but now he's actually just ahead of Price Evolution, who did really well last time out in Singapore, and maybe now wants to get ahead of him. This lap, though, Julian has done a lap that is quicker than Yugos could go.
Yeah, it's looking lap by lap more like a 2-horse race at the moment. Hugo's and Julian out front. The pack filing behind nicely. Who's that making a move? I think that might be Tipsy Bob looking for a move on Pretorius around the outside. He's not going to make that work. Good to come out of that without damage.
Pretorius, unusually far down the order. I would expect him to be a little high up, but maybe just been qualifying and we're gonna see something. But to be honest, if I look up the grid, all of the drivers there are really strong, so I think we're gonna get an extended trade.
First penalty for Light Cruiser, yeah.
Yeah, I think Yugos might have a warning already because I saw him going off track earlier on. I think that might have been a warning, don't know.
Yeah. So, calming down a bit, I think, yeah, Astro's back in his car now. And, Hugo's on the back of Julian with DRS then. He's dropped back a tiny bit, but it's only a matter of tenths, so it doesn't matter too much. As we come through the middle sector. And who's that? It's Gary and Copy got back past Gary. So Copy's back up to P6. With a large gap to Icewind ahead though, 2.3.
This is a massive train, and with the way the DRS functions here, it's gonna stay that way. It's currently led by Copy, and behind him it's Gary, and it drags all the way to, I think, Ocean Chief? Yeah, Ocean Chief is the last point, or the last car in that long chain. And actually, I think WoW is getting a little closer to Yugos and Julian.
Yeah, he is. I don't know how long it's going to take him. Maybe an undercut might be on the cards if he can gain some time that way, but we'll have to see how the race unfolds. As Danico got a better run through turn 3, he's not going to make any move down to here though. That will be extremely risky. But yeah, so it's the pack ahead is really crucial here at Russia with the DRS, and most tracks with the DRS where it is really powerful is at the start of the race you need to stay with the pack up ahead if you want to be in those podium positions, because it's very hard, as Copy is proving now, and WoW also, to catch back up to the pack once you've lost DRS. So Danny down the back straight. He's got DRS on Wow here. He's in overtake mode. He's looking for a move. He's going to go around the outside. What's he going to make this of? And he's going to be an easy move, it looked like, for Danny. I think Wow backed off there. He doesn't want to hang it on the inside there. And that's Bryce getting past Gary as well, in the same place, in the same way, as they all file through the final sector. But Danny Co up into P3. Maybe he can catch the pack faster than Wow was.
It's very possible, but for now it definitely means that he is on a potential podium position. Icewind is the third one in that group, and he's gonna have DRS, but so is Wow. It's gonna be a little bit of a struggle for Icewind to get past. I think for now he just wants to hang on, but Danny Co's instantly trying to pull the trigger on Wow here with the DRS. Oh!
Yeah, Icewind. And Danny with a 3-second time penalty as well.
So that's not good for him. He's made the move stick, and he's now the main follower of those two up ahead, but he's got that penalty to his name, and that's very early for one. Well, it's not on Russia, but earlier than you want to get one. Like Cruiser, he's made a move on Gary, probably lunged down his inside after the long left-hander.
Yeah, so the top two sitting pretty at the moment, pulling away every lap. And then you've got the pack of Danny, Wow and Icewind behind them, with Copy dropping back. So Copy's sort of in no man's land, really. It's going to be difficult to recover his race from here if he wants to regain the championship lead. It doesn't look likely at the moment. But going onto the back straight, Popo is looking to make a move on Garyok in the Red Bull, but he's just going to stay back for now, but he's not! He's going to lunge it up the inside. A brilliant move there from Popo. They're going to go side by side under the bridge. Is Gary going to hold it on the inside for this next left-hander? Popo brakes very late, keeps it close to the wall, and I think that move is his, and it is.
Pretorius has a look as well, so he wants to make it two that go past Gary, and he goes down the inside. I think that has worked. Tipsy Bob in the meantime sticking behind them, and he wants to get through as well. He's doing really well to stick with the fast boys today.
Yeah, and Gary looking to come back here at Pretorius. They both have DRS, but Gary extremely close in the slipstream. Overtake ERS mode. Popo weaving to break the toe to prevent Pretorius from coming through.
Pretorius goes very deep. That's way too deep, and that's going to give him a terrible run. And so the position is gone again. So Pretorius down into P11, Gary in P10, and Tipsy Bob behind.
Oh, Pretorius diving that down the inside.
Massive lunge, and I expect Tipsy's going to try and get through here. But he can't.
I think he's just going to stay back for now.
Yeah. Well, he's
he
gonna
manages
get some,
to keep that. Just
if I was Tipsy, I'd be eating some popcorn right now. He's got a great view to this fight. Unfortunately, as a cameraman, he still has to focus on the track and not get penalties like the one he did get in turn 1, unfortunately, or turn 2. I don't know if the kink on the straight counts as turn.
Yeah, it does.
Well, then turn 2. So, in the first heavy braking zone, he got a penalty. He's one of the earliest. Iceland is still hanging on to the back of Wow and Danny, and they are appear to be a little bit slower than Julian and Hugos. But they are absolutely glued together. I just wonder if this is just down to the fact that Hugos is genuinely as quick as Julian and it can just challenge him, or if it's just DRS. Thank you, Chris.
I think Hugo's does have the opportunity to overtake Julian whenever he wants. He's just, well, he's not staying back now. He's going to go down the inside. It's the move for the lead. Hugo's does what Pretorius does, but not to the same extent. It looks like he's got that move done. It's a good move there from Hugo's, but yeah, I was just about to say he could get past at any time really with DRS. He was just staying behind as Tipsy and Basket didn't come into the pits. Maybe it's time for an undercut, or maybe they had a collision together. I don't quite know, but Julian nearly losing it there on the exit. And Wow now looking on the back of Danny. This is going to be an interesting fight. So they're not closing in on the top two, maybe even losing time. So let's see what Wow can do on the back straight with Danny. Danny won't have DRS because he's not within the 1 second window. Overspeed with a penalty. But this is the battle for the final podium position as they come down the back straight. Kink in the turn here, very hard on the braking because you're turning and braking at the same time. Wow's just going to stay back for now. Icewind right behind them also. Let's see if Hugo's is going to come into the pits. So Julian has followed Hugo's into the pits.
And yeah, I was gonna say.
Wow stays out.
I was gonna say, I wonder if this is just because Hugos is running with Julian, and that's the reason they can go similar pace, and in reality Julian is quicker, or if yeah, or if Hugos.
So Wow, sorry, Wow lost the DRS, so Icewind is looking to make a move. No, he's not. He's just gonna stay back. So continue.
Yeah, he was very close there and looked dangerous to me. Maybe he's actually gonna go for a lunge here after turn 3. I doubt it.
It'll be interesting where when these guys come out.
So
yes, they have a big gap. So I don't think Wow is going to be able to overcut these guys. Maybe with Danny, because Danny is very close to Astro. But I think if Wow and Icewind stay out longer, they're going to get the overcut because there's a lot of traffic ahead, the likes of NJJ, Overspeed, Ocean, Pretorius. And if Wow can wait with Icewind for them to catch up to the pack, they're going to be slow getting through it. And I think the overcut might work, especially with Wow on Danny.
Hugos is doing really well, to be honest. I think he's just genuinely got the pace today, and he's gonna challenge him. Can you check warnings for Hugos and Julian?
Yes.
Thanks a lot. So, I imagine that Wow and Icewind are gonna come in this lap, and Icewind gets a penalty. Is that his first one? Wasn't he like the first one to get
yeah, that's the first one. That's
okay,
the first one.
That's good.
So he follows Wow in.
Yeah, Wow goes a little deep there. I know that in the past I've seen in people in Russia getting random ridiculous 5-second penalties on pit entry for cutting corners, which is plain stupid, but it didn't happen so far. I don't think it happened in Tier 2 either, so that's great.
Hugo's with 1 warning and Julian without any.
Okay.
So I think that's what you saw at the beginning of the race with that warning. Overspeed, looking for a move on Ocean Chief. Down the inside, that looked relatively easy, but he goes wide on the exit, and is Ocean Chief going to hang it around the outside of turn 3? He's not quite close enough. I think he'll just stay back for now on his softs. He's trying to play the long game here, maybe stay out for a safety car. But the order is resumed. Wow is out just behind Danny. So he didn't quite make that overcut work, but he certainly gained some time.
I think Ocean just didn't pit because his teammate Icewind was in.
Yeah.
So that's why he's staying out longer. Overspeed is now probably gonna have the edge on him. These mediums are basically just like new ones because they don't wear at all. And the softs meanwhile are gonna start complaining around now.
Yeah. Bryce is in the lead by 7 seconds, so if I was him, I would stay out as long as possible, really. He can pit for mediums now, but I don't think it'd be worth it. He's got the gap, so if I were him, I would stay out, and that's what he's doing. Hope for a safety car, and you've got the drivers behind that are going to slow up the leaders, so this is a good opportunity for Bryce to get a good result here. Ocean into the pit lane as NJJ gets a penalty.
And Julian is glued to the gearbox of Hugos. They are gonna fight that out. I hope no one gets a penalty, and I think Julian is going for the lead. Yes, he is, and Hugos is not even gonna...
Yeah, you can see Hugo's conceding that when his ERS deployment went down to 0 there. Knew it wasn't his fight on this occasion, but he's going to try and get him back, maybe on the back straight or coming through the pit straight once again on the lap after. So Wow and Danny as well, very close. And then Icewind has come out behind Copy. So how's that happened? Because Icewind was behind Danny and Wow, and now he's lost almost 3 seconds in the pit lane.
Oh, maybe he's been held or made a mistake or something. But it's knocked him out of that fight for P3 right now that is going on. So we've got 2 pairs that are each fighting for positions on the podium. It's Julian and Yugos, and it looks like Julian's genuinely using his ERS to try and make a break. And it's 7/10 right now. And if he can get a very good last sector, he might actually be able to, even though Yugos gets really close in that braking zone. So I think he's not going to be able to pull it off. And all the time Julian, and yeah, as long as Julian fails to get rid of Yugos, Yugos can charge his battery behind him and use that as a tool, as a resource to hang on to him with the DRS.
Icewind made a move on Copy as well, down the inside on the back straight. And Bryce stays out one more lap as well, so I think if he can go long here, as I said, be a good race. NJJ and Overspeed.
Past Overspeed on the main straight into turn 2, and maybe there's going to be a counter move because NJJ had a little bit of trouble. And Wow was actually past Danny. They're still fighting.
He's gone wide.
And Wow gets.
Yeah, he went wide in turn 2.
Yeah, he gets
probably got a warning for that, but yeah.
Maybe, but he definitely lost time there. I think he just overshot it, trying to go for the out-braking maneuver and overshooting it.
So Light Cruiser is now holding up this pack of, well, it's a train going down to Garriock, so with Pretorius Popo as well.
I'm really impressed with the lack of penalties.
Yeah, we do know that these drivers like to keep it clean, and that's some of their advantages in the end of the race. But yeah, Sonny's saying Ice got held up in the pits.
It is unfortunate because, I mean, it's not his fault, and it's gonna put him at a disadvantage. Back straight, and nothing moves. According to the Delta, we've got a 5/10 gap between Yugos and Julian. As Yugos almost loses it, which tells you how much he's pushing right now. But I think Yugos has actually never won an SLR Tier 1 race. I think his last win in SLR Turf was Hockenheim Season 3 in Tier 2. And Light Cruiser gets another penalty, and I'm pretty sure that's his third one.
So Bryce is the last soft runner into the pits. He's going to come out in the Light Cruiser train, I think, just on the back of it.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's going to struggle to hang on to them. Or I think he's just with them. So that's what worked out perfectly for him. I mean, I would say now that he's got fresher tires, but it's Sochi. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't. Light Cruiser ahead of Popo here. Turn 2. In the fight.
Pretorius and Popo as well. Pretorius going to go down the inside of Popo here. Popo nearly hitting the back of Light Cruiser as well.
Yeah, it's always dangerous to go there if the car...
He's going to dive it again.
Oh,
and that's Garriock trying to go around the outside of Prix.
Danny with a penalty, and that's his second one. So he's in trouble. But for now, yeah, we're watching the fight for P9 here, but it's very exciting. It's a 5-car train, and it's being led by Light Cruiser, and I think we're maybe going to get a change of the lead in that. Wow fails to do anything against Danico, but now Popo Gamer's on the outside of Light Cruiser, which is going to turn into the inside as he's already well ahead as we come into the corner. Late braking by Popo, he locks up.
Oh, and Bryce went down the inside there of Gary as well. Gary was caught napping, watching the fight ahead probably, but Bryce is trying to go around the outside here. He's not going to be able to brake late enough, or is he? Trying to hook it. It's not going to work there, but who was past? That's Popo. Has escaped the Light Cruiser train.
And that was so dicey, and in the end it just led to a change for the lead. Speaking of changes for the lead, Julian's just passed Overspeed, but I imagine Overspeed didn't. Oh, Julian gets very wiggy. Oh, wow, past Danny, but there's going to be a move for P2 here. Yugos is going to overtake Overspeed. I'm very sure that Overspeed is not going to put up too much of a fight, but he's still there, actually. So maybe this is the moment Julian's been waiting for all the time to get rid of that annoyance in the Toro Rosso. No, it's not. Julian is also not even using all of his battery. Julian generally keeps like 40% more battery than Yugos. So I think he's got a little bit of a high ground.
Yes, so the medium runners are not looking too good at this point. They are losing time, obviously, to the guys on fresh mediums, but Wow with a penalty.
And then we've got yellows, and that's the first retirement of the race, and it's Bascadinho. And he is out of this race. It's
Safety car would be nice now for the medium runners, wouldn't it?
yeah, that would be incredible. But we would still put them kind of down the order, to be honest. But it depends. You can't go that quick. And the safety cars, of course, you don't lose as much.
So I said Popo escaped the train, but he's now leading the train because of the DRS effect, obviously. Bryce, with his failed attempt last lap on Gary, couldn't make the move this lap. He wasn't close enough. But that's Pretorius now looking to get past Light Cruiser. He's going to save his ERS for the start-finish straight.
While being often a massive snowfest IRL, I think Sochi is delivering really, really well so far. We've got so many battles going on track. It is really pleasant to watch. And wow,
yes, there's
is gonna take NJJ here, and I imagine Danico is gonna follow through. Yeah, NJJ treats this really well. He has no business fighting with those much quicker and not on his strategy, so he doesn't put up much of a fight. Oh, Pretorius? Okay, no. Have Gary and Bryce lost the train? No, they're still there, but there's just a little bit of a gap in there. And Wow and Overspeed, well, Wow and Danico both get past Overspeed the same way they got past NJJ. So this is the way it
might be an
goes.
opportunity for NJJ here to get back past Overspeed.
Yuga's using less of his battery on the straight, so he's trying to turn the tables.
Oh wow, wow, down the inside of NJJ. Not NJJ, sorry, Danny.
Oh! Wow, I thought Overspeed was gonna spin in the back. And he caught that really well, I think. But yeah, Overspeed and NJJ have also been fighting all race, and I don't even know if any one of them got a penalty so far. They're doing really well on penalties. Speaking of which, how are Yugas and Julian doing on penalties or on warnings?
Julian still without any warnings, and Hugo's is just on one, so no more picked up. Obviously, Danny is with the 6 seconds.
Yeah.
It's not going to help his race fighting with WoW too much.
Maybe if he's gonna pressure WoW into many mistakes, he can get him up to 6 seconds as well, because WoW, of course, has already got 3. But unfortunately, I mean, to push WoW around the circuit, you also need to take risks, and you also maybe get some more penalties. So it looks like this might not be the happy day for Danico that it could have been. Oh, we lost Light Cruiser!
Safety car would be nice.
He's on the wall. And,
okay, he's carrying on though, isn't he?
Yeah.
So he's just coming out ahead of Subop.
Yeah, I don't know what's happened there.
Then. Icewind is looking to be the next driver to take NJJ to the cleaners as they come down the long back straight.
Danico on WoW. Sorry to interrupt. Danico makes a move on WoW, and that looked easy because it probably was. Also, Icewind takes NJJ, who doesn't put up much of a fight. It's another swap of positions, and Copy is through as well. NJJ is doing really well to not be involved in any of these fights. He's doing just what you would want a driver to do in this situation, so credit to him.
Yeah, but Copy's pace isn't that good really in P7. It was good that Icewind got past him because he's now on the back of Overspeed looking to make gains on the top 4, so it really, I don't know what's up with Copy's pace really.
It's been disappointing a little bit, to be honest. Oh, Yugas has actually passed Julian for the lead, and Icewind gets past.
Professional commentators.
Yeah, well, I mean, they have been running within 3/10 for like 17 laps, so you can't see anything. You can't see everything.
Yeah. It's Pretorius with a penalty, so that's not going to help him. Obviously, WoW and Danny as well. That battle is going to continue for a long while yet, I would assume. 2 Williams drivers, maybe Overspeed might get out of the way for Copy with Icewind with a second penalty.
One. So he's on par with Danny, but not with WoW now. And Julian's gap to Yugas is actually not that little, but he's got almost a full battery, and he's using that to a good effect. He's okay. He's still very close to you guys. And Copy also getting past his teammate Overspeed. I don't know what's going on with Copy, but he doesn't have penalties, does he?
No.
So he's theoretically got Icewind in the bag, and Danny Coe as well. So it could still be a P4, which is of course not the thing you want to achieve being a championship leader, or wanting to be a championship leader. And but it is still I mean it would still be a little bit of a, how do you say it, damage limitation. Yeah,
in the championship especially, but the sun's coming out here in Sochi Autodrome as Julian goes a bit deep into turn 1 and then turn 2, sorry, and he nearly loses it on the exit as well. NJJ finally in the pits.
No move done between Wow and Danny. So they're gonna run in formation. And we've got yellows and light cruiser retire, so it's both
In
McLarens. Yeah, both McLarens have thrown the towel. I think is what he could say.
One driver we haven't mentioned much is Shaka FT. So Shaka Laka, as he's known in chat, is actually running a good race, considering he is fresh off the Tier 4 roster. So he's keeping it together here. Up to P16 as a benefit from the retirements, but he's beating Max, so it's looking good for him at the moment. He's not rage quit like the others, despite being 28 seconds off P50.
Yeah, it's I mean that's a skill to have in a driver, the patience and yeah, to just finish a race, even though it doesn't, like it's not the most fun in the moment. Just drive it. You might learn something on the way. You might gain some experience. And maybe the chance arises, the safety car happens. So it's always worthwhile to stay in the race and can command the effort. I mean, you're sacrificing some of your free time you could have, but then again, chances always are there. So.
It's going to be a very late move from Danny, as he doesn't make that, thankfully. That would have ended in tears for sure. Julian Hugo's still running very close, 0.2 of a second as they come through into the second sector. So Overspeed was in the pits. He comes out behind NJJ, quite a while behind actually. So and who's that? Who's this running very, two drivers running very close? It's Bryce and Gary. Gary!
Oh god, that was gonna end in tears, honestly. Whoa. Yeah, but they reacted really well to that. I mean, the fact that they made contact wasn't perfect. Oh, now Gary actually goes down the inside of Bryce. I
think Bryce is also going to have to give that up.
Oh,
I don't think he's going to be able to
defend
bit of a
nudge. Yeah. I mean, I want to give credit to them as well. Of course, touching there isn't optimal, but I think as soon as they realized, oh, this is not going to end well, they
oh, I saw Bryce cut that corner there in 3 seconds.
Yeah, they eased off the throttle, and that is what caused them to not die there. I'm sure
yes, I'm it planted.
Oh, Bryce actually on the outside. What do you mean?
No, just some tier 2 drivers. You keep the throttle planted once they're going into the wall.
Really?
Moving on.
You mean me killing Lars in Singapore? Me and you.
Wow.
That's actually what I was thinking about anyways. Some drivers would have kept the foot in there and killed each other, but they didn't, so I can appreciate that.
But yeah, so no penalties out front, so this is actually battle on track. Hugo's goes very wide there. Yeah, so Julian Hugo's battling all race long. 0.3 is the gap for Hugo's to extend, and he can be out of DRS and he can check out in this race, to be honest. It's going to be a tall order to do that against Julian, who we know is very, very quick indeed. Bryce and Gary fighting once again as they go through turn 4. Nearly the same thing happening here. Bryce is going to back out of that one, and Gary swoops through turn 5 in the... well, I was about to say in the lead of Bryce there, as they come through the tricky middle sector. So once again, it's on the back straight.
Oh, Danny with the 12th. I mean, I think he's a 12th.
I think that's his 9th. 9 seconds now, I think that is.
I think it's 12, but
I'll have a look.
Wow.
Yeah, it is 12.
Yeah, Wow has got 1. Iceman's got 2.
He got.
and
It says
Copy's
here he
none.
got on that last lap. He got. Oh, Danny! Literally spinning out of the final corner.
That was a massive oversteer, to be honest. Popo now also with a penalty. I mean, Copy is gonna climb 1, 2, maybe probably just about 2 positions. Going at
He's gonna get Icewind as well, isn't he?
Yeah, Iceman and Danny.
Oh yeah. Okay. So he's looking to make the move on Iceland. Maybe he has a bit more pace. He feels, but his race certainly hasn't shown that so far. He's usually up in the top 3. Bit disappointing by his standards today.
Astro Boys gets past Tipsy, and yeah, let's hope he managed to record that race. Of course, having
Overspeed and
disconnect
NJJ as well.
that cost him about, well, all of his qualifying. Then it demoted him to last, and then it cost him 5 seconds on top of that. So that's, of course, a bad start to the race weekend, and he has to come back from that. And being in P11, good job. He's not going to be happy with it, but at least he can pat his own shoulder and say, well, I wasn't terrible.
Now, one interesting aspect of this race is Wow is closing up on the leaders.
Oh, but then again, another interesting aspect is the fact that he just got a penalty, and that is actually gonna wait. Let me do maths real quick. Not like I have to do that in uni.
Copy wouldn't jump him yet. No.
Copy would jump him because now
Wow's only got 1 penalty.
No, that's the second one. I'm sure.
Oh, it's the second.
That would put him around a second or 1.3 seconds behind Copy. So even though his pace hasn't been blistering today, and that is by Copy standards, he's still really quick. That means that he could still get a podium here, and if Julian doesn't win this against Yugos, then well, then it would only be 3 points he's giving up in the championship.
This train for P13 is fight with Overspeed and NJJ Ocean defending from the 2 soft runners as they come through the second corner. Overspeed going to get that move done, it looks like. Ocean Chief not going to defend it too much. He's going to concentrate on Garen. It's very interesting, these lines from Overspeed through turn 3. He cuts right to the inside coming out of turn 2. I shot it myself, it doesn't gain time, but NJJ, yeah.
But that's actually, I mean,
very late move.
This corner, it is so, I mean, these cars have so much downforce, and even though it's a fairly tight corner, you can still take it full on flat out, and with the slipstream, it practically functions like a straight. So you can make a move at the end of it, and I like that very much. It's like, it's fun to tuck into someone's slipstream, and then go for a lunge.
And decide to back out.
Also, we've got Shaka and Max Spills fighting for P16, all for the honor, and Max Spills on the
P16.
P16, and he's taken that spot.
Fight for P1. Yeah, I don't think Julian's going to make the move here. It's too far back.
I wonder what Julian's plan is, because unless, and I don't think he has that, but like unless he has a crew chief that tells him about how Yugos ERS is, passes that from Astro Boys in P11. He wants to get close to Bryce and Gary, maybe P9 still on the cards. Ocean gets a penalty. Unless he's aware of the ERS situation here, I don't really know what his plan is right now. If I was Yugos, I would try to harvest more energy, because that is really yeah, that's really his problem right now. He is on 40% while Julian is constantly keeping his battery almost complete. Oh, not almost, completely full. And now he's gonna take a little bit of the battery out to put Yugos under pressure. Yugos is actually using it on the straight when he doesn't have to. Julian, I don't think Julian wants to attack him anytime soon.
Do you think this is going to be another situation we're going to see where you want to be behind on the last lap? Or it's a bit easier to defend here?
I think it is a little bit easier to defend, but it's still it's not a present. Also, there's 2 overtakes on that happened. I don't know if I would want to put an entire race win just on one card, like on the backstrap, because
yeah, I think it's more safe to make the move here on the
main straight and then
start-finish straight,
well,
and then you
to
can
be
defend
honest,
side on the back straight.
Yeah, with the ERS resources, Julian has saved up, which he's done really, really well. With the resources, he could be able to just power. I mean, if he's aware of the difference, he can then put it in hot lap in sector 2, and then use overtake on the straight on the last lap to fend off Yugos, while Yugos is gonna be forced to save some in the middle sector, so he can't stay as close as he would want to. So I think that ERS might actually give Julian the advantage, and I have a feeling that this is, even though he's got track position, I think this is an uphill battle for Yugos.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult for him to keep Julian behind with the ERS situation, as you're explaining there. And with the DRS as well, so not much going in his favour here. But Julian, I noticed at the start of straights, he goes up into a higher mode, looks to make the move, thinks he needs to back out, goes into none ERS, so he's very wise. He either deploys everything or nothing, is what I'm seeing. And it's working very well so far, as he's got almost a full battery. Well, he does now. And yeah, so WoW and Danny still closing in. And even though WoW and Danny have penalties, I think it's still going to be interesting to see if they're going to get involved with the fight, and whether it's going to... Danny's another penalty, that's 15.
He's actually... Danny's actually at risk of dropping P7 to... dropping P6 to Popo. Even though I don't think it's going to happen, because Popo's likely got penalties.
Oh, Julian!
This is the moment where Julian makes his move around the outside in turn 2, and that's going to come... Oh, a little bit of a... banging into the side pod of Julian here, and now they are surrounding side by side through that super long turn 3, and Julian takes the lead from Yugos and defends down the inside. Very low. Oh, he goes, he sends it. Yugos is not done with this, squeezing his Julian, and all of the battery of Yugos goes into this. We've actually got yellows for something. Julian
Popo
almost spins. Popo is out. I don't know what happened, but his left side front wing. Oh, never mind. I thought it was dead, but it's not. But he still lost a lot of time.
Now look. Wow.
Oh, wow. Wow, we're so close to Julian. Wow, could take Julian here, and that would be perfect for Yugos. Maybe they've waited a little bit too long. Maybe they were playing their own DRS wars a little bit too much. I wonder what Julian is gonna, what Yugos is doing with the ERS on the straight. He is deploying a little bit. Like he's just hanging. He's just barely hanging on. He's just on the edge. And Julian's really close to Yugos, but so is WoW to Julian. So maybe
this is the opportunity Yugos has been waiting for. He needs to push now and use his ERS now, whilst WoW and Danny are looking to attack Julian.
I mean, it's relative.
Julian's so close.
Oh. Yeah, Yugos got a very terrible run onto that straight, and I think now Julian wants to free himself of the burden of having WoW in his mirror, and he's gonna do what is necessary to change that. So he's gonna take the lead here. Yugos slots in to defend from WoW, but he's using his ERS. He wants to get past here. I would save it. What do I know? There's a reason I'm not fighting for this race win, and that's not just because I'm commentating. And
that's WoW. That's WoW. Going trying to go down the inside there. He got.
Could seal it.
It's not gonna be close enough.
It doesn't. So, Yugos, now the problem is you can't even properly save ERS on that final lap, because if he does, WoW's gonna be there, and WoW's gonna take him, and that would completely knock him out of that fight. Now we're on the second to last lap, and Julian has got a considerable gap, so I think Yugos has to burn some battery to stay close enough. And that's what he does. He goes into overtake, and maybe WoW can do something.
The pressure here, the pressure on the Yugos to stay ahead is immense, and this is really a mental game, really, with WoW behind him, and Julian wanting to pull away. If Yugos just stays with DRS, I think he's got a chance of taking this victory on the last lap, maybe, if he gets a really good final sector. But WoW is pressuring him immensely, and it's not helping his challenge for the lead.
I think this gap is too big, and I think this. Oh,
WoW with another penalty,
and I think that puts him behind copy. Anyways, so now with the DRS, and it is the last lap of this race, and I think
Yeah, Hugo's has to go for it here. It's all or nothing, really. He's gonna go to the outside. What can he do? Julian defends the inside, but he has a really bad run, and he's basically parked the bus there. Danny with another penalty, but Hugo's round turn 3. He's got to make the move here.
Hugo likes to quote Senna. The question is, will he go for a gap? There's no gap.
Oh, that's close. That's really, really close here.
Needs to get past here, and
the last lap, you got 1 DRS straight left.
His only
you need to make it count.
His only chance is to hang on and try and be ahead of WoW and get all the ERS you can. But that run wasn't as good as Julian, so Julian is
WoW trying to go down the outside there.
Oh!
He has the run. He's on the outside.
And that is going to compromise Hugo Slime massively. Now he even gets a screen freeze, and I think he can't do it on the final straight. He is too far.
No, I think it's gone from Hugo's. Again, so close to a win, but something just doesn't go in his favour, and it's another week.
Oh, please don't punch him. Oh, God. So,
well, WoW looking to get past. There's not much of a reason to get past here. I think he's just going to lose himself time if he stays behind, I think. And unless Julian makes a big mistake.
Come, give penalty, Julian. Give penalty.
Yeah.
It would be funny, to be honest.
It's going to be Julian across the line. Takes his second win in a row and extends his championship lead. Now, where's Copy going to come? Is he going to come on the podium? Yes, he is. Copy up to P3 on penalties. So he's only lost 10 points in this championship fight, so the gap ahead now is 19 points in the lead as Julian is looking all the more in his hands.
Iceland is so close to WoW here.
What's Gary doing? He's not even on the track, and Bryce is trying to get past him on the line. Very close there.
And well, I don't think there's going to be anything that moves here, but Ocean Chief is going to finish behind NJJ Tipsy.
Yeah, this train is there.
That train also comes across. Tipsy takes
and Astro Boys.
Astro P9.
Oh yeah, that's P9. That's a decent recovery from him from P17. But yeah, that was really it. It was WoW on Copy. WoW on Hugo's that prevented him from being close enough for the DRS on the last lap, on the last straight, and sadly it's another week where Hugo's came this close, 7/10 to a win, and he something has gone against him, and he yet again has to wait another week. Apparently, according to his in-game flag, next week will be his home race.
Yeah, it is.
Is he actually Japanese, or is he?
Yes, he is actually Japanese.
He's Japanese. It's a British accent.
Well, he lives in Great Britain, but he talks Japanese to his parents, so I think it's fair to call him Japanese.
Epic indeed.
Yeah.
Unlike Satoshi.
Satoshi is a weeb. Shame him. No, he's South Korean now, didn't you see?
No, I haven't.
Well, he's a little bit of a chameleon there.
Hugo's saying in chat, I thought he was going to have a heart attack on the last lap.
Well, I can understand that. I was very. I mean,
if I was ever in a position to win a race, I would. I'd probably faint before I got across the line.
I was very close to fainting, to be honest. The thing I do is just tell myself that I definitely don't have a chance and just try to ignore the facts. And that usually doesn't help. But anyways, so we're at the end of the race, and the top 3 are the 3 guys that didn't get any penalties. And that is Julian.
So Astro Boys with no penalties.
Well, he had
I don't
bug,
believe that.
I think.
Again,
unfortunately, yeah. Well, we've got a ruling on that now, so I'm sure it counts.
What is the ruling?
Well, he has to record his race, and if he doesn't, then he's potentially gonna get DQ'd. So it might be a point for Bryce.
Okay.
Depends if Astro recorded.
But that's ironic, because recording your race leaves you at more risk of leaving the session anyway, but
But you only need to record it after it happened, so. But anyways.
Well, oh yeah.
Anyway, so who is our driver of the day?
Driver of the day.
Who did we?
I'm tempted for Hugo's because he put up such a good fight.
So am I, because I think we've given plenty to Julian, and I don't know how many we gave to Yugas. But then again, I have the feeling that we gave
It looked
to
comfortable
Yugas
for Julian, to be honest.
But then again, I think we gave it to Yugas recently because of exactly the same reason. Let me quickly check, because I'm a very professional kind of commentator. I always know all of my.
Yeah, it's close indeed.
Personally, I find that Julian hasn't gotten it since China. And I feel like he did really well today. And I feel like there was like no real absolute standout performer who completely sliced through the field or anything. Like we had some very solid drives. I think Iceman did really well. I think Copy did well to keep it clean, but his pace was a little bit disappointing. Danny was quick, but he had so many penalties. Similar thing goes for WoW. So I think like everyone had like a decentish drive, and Hugos and Julian were the standout performers to me in the end. Just Julian managed it really well and was able to win that, and he hasn't got the drive of the day in recent times. So I think it's fair to give it to Julian.
Yeah, he really managed his race very well, staying behind Hugo's at the right moments, and then he managed to take the win. So I think he's in Corona Club. He might want an interview here.
Yeah. If I was that terrible quote at the end of every single player race where Anthony Davidson tries to explain why the race win happened, I would say it was down to the ERS management, honestly, because at any point in this, Julian had 60% more than Yugas, and that basically always gave him control. Like Yugas couldn't drive away from him, because Julian would always just turn up his battery and follow, and so he positioned himself really well. He made Yugos work with ERS for that, and I think he did really well through that, so it was very good.
Yeah, so I think we can have an interview with Julian if you want me to drag him in. I'm going to have to go once again, leave.
No worries.
With the winner of the race, so here is Julian if my PC wants to actually work, and it does.
Okay, it does. So, it's a familiar sight. It is a Sunday evening.
Finally, back after Assetto Corsa when I got absolutely clapped by you.
Yeah, now I can tell the world that I beat this guy. No,
yeah, familiar territory again for me tonight.
Yeah, he's back on his home soil, and I don't talk about Russia. I'm talking about F1. So how was the home soil? Did you feel comfortable in the car? And how? I mean, that you had a brilliant start again. I think in Singapore you had a really good start where you had that overtake with like 2 people, and today you somehow completely snuck up everyone and just went from 4th to 1st. What happened there? It was really hard to keep track.
I just switched the Alonso mode on, mate. But
it's a Stroll mode. He always gains so many positions on the opening.
Yeah. But Singapore, the launch itself wasn't that great, and today it was. Maybe the Assetto Corsa helped me. I don't know.
I don't know if driving a car with traction control helps you there, but
maybe it does. The start is quite similar with traction control.
You just think you have traction control, and then it works.
No, but I got a good launch. I didn't expect it at first, and I was like, okay. I wasn't sure what to do, so I was just gonna go with, you know what, why not? I was just gonna go really aggressive into turn 1 and the next few corners to hopefully get the lead. I mean, I knew that the DRS was gonna be really difficult to break on this track, because the slipstream and DRS is very overpowered, like on most tracks. But the start was really nice. I got into the lead, as I said, so that was pretty decent. And then afterwards I tried to work together a little bit with, I think it was Hugo's in the beginning as well. And we pulled away from the rest of the pack, and they didn't really catch up to us until the end of the race. And we were just swapping positions a few times during the race to save ERS. And I even had to save fuel because I was expecting a safety car on lap 1, which didn't come. So I had to save like an entire lap of fuel in the race. So that was interesting.
Okay.
But yeah, I made it work, so it's fine. But yeah, the fight in the end was lovely. I really enjoyed it, and as it should really. And I like to race that way, just stay in a train for most of the race, and then when you really need to, you can battle when you want to. So yeah.
Just from watching that, I mean, it must have been, there must have been a little bit of mental pressure, of course, because you knew this is actually for position. Yugos doesn't have a penalty. I don't have a penalty.
Yeah.
What do I do now? Like, or did you feel when you were fighting that you had the upper hand, even though you were behind? Because watching it, I said that I feel like it's an uphill battle for Yugos, but like, how did you experience that? Was it under your control? Or do you...
I honestly didn't mind whether I finished first or second. I knew I was going to be ahead of Copy anyway, so yeah. But in terms of beating Hugo's, I was kind of sure that I could beat him. Not entirely, but pretty much. So as long as I got the overtake done around lap 24, 25, maybe 26, like I think I got it, then I would be fine. As long as I defended on the last lap. Because I knew that WoW and... who else was it behind? Danny?
Danny, yeah.
Yeah, I knew that they would be in the mix as well on the final 2 laps, so I just tried to back them up into them, so they could fight and I could, well, comfortably go to the finish. Is a little bit extreme, but that kind of way.
Yeah,
so,
it worked. So
yeah, I'm really happy about tonight, though. I really didn't expect to be this much on the pace. The time trial laps I did were absolutely horrendous. I was half a second at least off the pace, so to go into quali and be P4, I was already really happy with that. And I was on lap 3 and thinking, how have I not gotten a warning yet? And then I was like, okay, well, maybe that's the drill from now on then. So yeah,
that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah, I just went with the flow, and yeah, it turned out really well, so can be happier with tonight.
Listen to that flow at Russia. Interesting. To be honest, Sector 2 is not horrendous unless the track limits screw you up, which they totally didn't. Were you aware of the ERS situation over that entire race? Because like your ERS was always completely full. I felt like that's what made the difference.
Yeah, I know from past interviews with especially you, Tara, and into SRL as well, that most people use a lot of ERS, so I don't know for sure, but I can kind of estimate when people are running a little bit lower, not exactly low, but lower than me on ERS, and by that I just judge and hope it's actually correct, and I think most of the times I do this, it's correct, so yeah.
Yeah, I felt like you were baiting a lot of ERS out of Yugos by putting it into 4 for like a little bit, and then Yugos would run the entire straight on 3. Or 4, and I think that's what gave you the upper hand in the end. Do you want to guess the final question?
How do you feel about Japan?
That's totally not how I would have worded it, but sure, answer it, yeah.
I bolded the question, but I've always really enjoyed Japan, especially in 2017 and 2018. Not as much on this game, but I still really like it, and I did a few league races a while ago, and they went pretty well. So if I can keep that momentum from those races going into SLR and to SRL next week as well, then I'm quite optimistic to get at least a podium again and possibly the win as well. So I just got to keep it clean with the penalties on the final chicane, but I'm sure that that will be fine.
Yeah. Well, good luck there, and try not to get murdered by the bump.
I'll try to.
Very, very realistic bump. Yeah, thanks for the interview, and congratulations again on today. So
thank you very much.
Because there's no one else in the Corona Club Voice channel, I think that wraps up the broadcast for tonight. So tomorrow is gonna be Tour Sorel action, Tier 2 and Tier 1, same time as usual, 18 CST, and next week we're gonna be back for the final, well, for the round 17 and kicking off the final 5 rounds in the championship of SLR. And there's still a championship fight. Julian has got the upper hand, but I'm sure Copy is still very much in that fight. So check that out, and thanks for watching. Goodbye.